watch a show and you end up asking yourself, what would I do in that situation? How would I handle things? What would I do if I was put in this situation? Today's show depicts a world where there's no people. Well, almost no people. Hello everybody, this is Anime Mirage. I am your host, Senjo-chan, and today, Dr. Stone. Let's go. In an apocalyptic world where every person, even some birds for some odd reason, have turned into stone, after 3,700 years, our protagonists Seku and Taiju are awakened. After a year on their own, they have developed a way to bring everyone back, so now the goal is to revive civilization. However, at some point, another human named Tsukasa has been revived as the main antagonist. Seku, as the smart guy at least, his intelligence are the key point to comedy and has a firm belief that humans should be revived. However, Tsukasa believes that the society is corrupt and only untainted, as he calls it, should be revived. For the most part, I do like all the characters, with the exception of one or two, and really those are minor nitpicks. For example, I have an issue when it comes to both Taiju and Yorihara. Taiju is there to have things explained and therefore understand what Seku is saying, which in turn allows us, the audience, to understand what Seku is saying. But in saying that, I really didn't care for Yuzuriya. She's okay, I like her as a character, but what she's there for at this point is just to be the main female romantic lead. What I mean by this is that her place outside of being the romantic lead is to have things explained to her, which in turn allows them to be explained to us. So really, she's mainly there for the same thing that Taiju is. The supporting cast do their job just fine. They are there to help the main characters along and further progress the story. I have no issues with the supporting characters, except that they could have maybe been a little more interesting. I find it difficult to put my opinion on this as it pertains to the dub versus sub debate. Both Kana Ichinose and Brittany Lauda did a beautiful job as the voice of Yuzuriya, as well as Yuichi Nakamura as the voice of Tsukasa. But I would also be remiss if I were not to tell you about the one person in the dub that did a spectacular job that I didn't even notice at first. That was Aaron Desmook as Seku, and I'm so glad he's still doing voice acting because he's really good. I haven't heard his voice acting since he played Alphonse in Full Metal Alchemist, and I'm so glad that he's still doing voice acting. It is spectacular. The composer to the soundtrack of Dr. Stone was a man by the name of Tatsuya Kodo, who I probably destroyed that last name and I apologize. He's done great work before, but if I'm being, again, kind of honest, I found it a little underwhelming. It does the violin exceptionally well. However, in saying that, it reminded me a little too much of other anime. To be more specific, it reminds me a little too much of Fairy Tail. There are actually two exceptions to this opinion of mine. Two different tracks, which I found both were fantastic. One being named From Zero, which plays the violin mixed with some piano brilliantly, and the other one is greatly named Fantasy versus Science. The production studio was TMS, who has done work for D. Grandman and Kenichi the Strongest Disciple, among others, and as such, there's a certain amount of quality to expect from this type of production studio. Dr. Stone is an anime that is at least clearly trying. However, I felt like the no use for Yuzuriya and the music has a lot to be desired. We're just making that a little bit less than what I wanted to see. I have calculated the scores for the subject of story, characters, sound, animation, replay value, and my own personal enjoyment, which allows me to give the ultimate rating for Dr. Stone a 7.24 out of 10 and a recommendation to stream it rather than buy. As far as ultimate anime recommendations, I first point you to the aforementioned The Gray Man, and we're gonna go with Desert Punk for also apocalyptic world. Hopefully. As always, thank you again for watching. If you like my videos, please hit subscribe, and while you're already there, might as well hit the like button and the notification bell for further content. Thank you guys, you have a great time. Remember, this is Anime Mirage.